It is Friday. Great to have everybody with us. The band is back together, minus Kenny. We got a lot to do. Rico.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be a busy show.
You know what?
Let's get to it.
Don't start.
By the way, we complete the strongest. Got him. The strongest week of polo shirts in Rico's career. Another PGA banger on the docket today from you. This is big. Summer's here, and so's the fashion.
Well, you know what? For Kenny, this was like close to Floral Friday. So
right. Well, you have to be at work to celebrate Floral Friday. So listen, let's just dive in.
Work.
So.
Nope, not doing it.
He started this.
I did. It's going to be a good show today. But I do want to start. I want to give you and David a chance to comment on something that I presented to the people between Tiger games. And look, it's a different audience, right? It's. I want to give this a real shot today versus like the hors d'oeuvre yesterday. So I was very upset. I came on the air, Bobby Marks, ESPN. Now, I like Bobby Marks. I do. What I don't like is feeling like, once again, my city is being told, accept less, lower your horizons. And what I don't like is when we're victims of cliche, meaning, well, it's Detroit. The only guys you want and or can get are gritty, dryhards.
Know your lane.
Yes. Now, I want to present this quickly, and then it's going right to you guys. Because I said everything I could possibly say yesterday. Bobby Marks said, the best fits for the Pistons. Bobby Portis, a whopping 13-8, and a guy who's going to be 31 this season. A reserve on any championship caliber team. And Naz Reid. And what I wrote in my notes yesterday, this is a direct quote. Oh, goody. Another six-man type, 14-6, complete ghost in playoffs every year, barely averages 10. And wouldn't start for you because you have Tobias. Now, the one thing I'll say is if you like Naz Reid, I know you like him, fine enough, then there has to be a secondary move that gets Tobias out of here.
Right.
And you're gonna play Naz Reid 40 minutes a night. The point I'm making is this isn't good enough. And I had a major disagreement with Doug. Doug did a separate presentation. Doug was, I thought we were going to need some wet wipes in here. Doug was he was, oh, yes, please. And I'm like, okay, answer this question. Mm-hmm. If I bring in these two players, but it's at the cost of Beasley, Hardaway Jr., Schroeder, are you better at all? And if so, isn't it only incremental?
No, because to me, this is the equivalent of moving across the street.
Yep.
You got a better view of the other side of the street. You didn't really go anyplace. No, I'm with you. I don't like the fact that when it's just stay in your lane, you got to get that type of person that fits your grit, your culture. No, you don't. You can go out there and get whatever player you want, and you can write your own story. And that's what I'm really hoping that Trajan does with this team. He went out, he made some moves last year. They were smaller moves. I'm expecting bigger moves, especially last night after watching the Pacers. And I'm sitting there saying, this could be you. This could be you. The Pacers weren't out afraid to go out and be bold. They weren't afraid to go out and make a deal. They weren't like, oh, we got to keep our guys because we got to keep this together. No, their two main stars, neither one of them were drafted by the team. They were okay with going out there and getting a piece to the puzzle. I am with you, Mike. You have Cade Cunningham. You have to go out there and you have to get somebody who can help him, who could be his Siakam, because when I'm looking at the Pacers, I'm telling you, at the beginning of the year, no one saw this, Mike. They're 48 minutes away from being your NBA champions, and nobody outside of the state of Indiana even remotely saw this. You would have been laughed at and mocked if you said, hey, the Pacers are going to win the whole thing.
And by the way, just to back Rico's point, don't overlook the Siakam thing. That was 3 players and I think 3 first-round picks to get him. Mm-hmm. Guys, I just want to know what you need. Like, I'm sorry, but this idea that, look, incremental moves, 99 times out of 100 net incremental improvement. The Pistons need a Robin for Cade's Batman. Like what Orlando did, the brilliance of what Orlando did is, oh, well, Bane's their third best, and you love that move. They already have Wagner and Banchero. It's a different thing.
They already had a 3. They really added a 4th.
You had a star and you signed Naz Reid, different conversation. I want to know what you need. Look, if you like these two players and you like the cliche and you want incremental, fine. But let me caution you on something. Look at your payroll allocation. 26 for Tobias, 15 for Beef Stew. That's 41. 9 for Fontecchio. That's $50 million in nothingness on guys that are bench players on true championship teams. So why would I add to that $50 million another, call it
20,
$38 million?
Okay.
20 for Nas, 17 or 18 for Portis. So $88 million of bench player on championship team. It doesn't make sense.
No, I'm with you. But not everybody feels that way.
Well, ESPN loves to just, here you go, little Detroit, take this stuff. I want excellence. I want a major move because I agree with Rico. This could be you.
I mean, if you're a Pistons fan, I get it. They're in the East and you have to play them. You should be looking at the Pacers right now. You should be rooting for the Pacers because the Pacers can be you next year. You can do what they did and just win. And every time people said, well, they're not good enough, wait, we are. And here we are, Game 7, OKC. And honestly, I don't know who's going to win that game. They have a legitimate chance of winning it. That could be you, Pistons, but you got to make a move.
If you're answer it this way, if your offseason is Naz Reid and Bobby Portis, your reaction is what? 248-539-9797. Let's get into it to start the show. I got to do a couple segments on this yesterday, and then Tigers were playing again. I really want to hear from people because next week is the NBA draft. And for all intents and purposes, the offseason absolutely kicks off. You are, according to Shams Charania and Brian Windhorst, you're going to see a flurry of action in and around the draft. Well, I'd like the Pistons to be a part of it. David, what are your thoughts? Bobby Portis, Naz Reid.
Naz Reid would be fine enough. Bobby Portis would be fine enough. And that's not enough for me. I need more. I am trying to push myself in the belief that they actually make the move that they're supposed to make. But this is, you have to make something else along with this. That's what this is. Bobby Portis is good. They're good, but that's not what we need to finish the team. We would need more to pair with Cade. That would be the addition of Bane would be like an addition of Portis. You get what I'm saying? Like a third, fourth option.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
We need more than that. If you don't get anything other than that, I'm disappointed this offseason.
Yeah, you need a star. I mean, the bottom line, it's what Rico referenced with Indiana. I would say the same thing, and obviously, I understand. Oklahoma City drafted Jalen Williams. Well, all Jalen Williams did was basically be Rookie of the Year. I think he finished second in Rookie of the Year voting. Don't crush me if I'm off by one on that, but he was awesome to start, immediate 20-point guy in year 2. He's all NBA by year 3. Mm-hmm. Okay? He's a superstar. I know nobody can pick out Jalen Williams. I know nobody watched him at Santa Clara. I understand. Bottom line, he's superstar. SGA, superstar, and traded for. You have to make a trade. I just do not see a world that the development leads to this team taking a leap. No. Because if you wait, well, guess what's going to happen? They're going to put the Celtics back together when JT's foot gets reattached. The time is now. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry, but Bobby Marks and ESPN and all the national media always overlooking us and telling us, here's table scraps, enjoy it. Why? You've got to make a trade.
Because Detroit just kind of does that, Mike. They rarely go for that bold move where you're like, wow. Even when they got the name in Iverson, the bold move, he was at the tail end of his career. And at that point, nobody really wanted him, and he came here and did nothing. So, yeah, when you think of the Pistons especially, it's always, well, you kind of get this guy, and it has to fit that gritty, tough, going to work, back to work, whatever, punching the time clock type of mentality. And I say, to hell with that. Go out there and get somebody who can help you win. Go and get a player who on any given night can outscore Cade if he has to.
And also, here's the other thing for me. Again, phone lines are wide open. We can just get into it. 248-539-9797. Do you know what incremental and middling moves look like? The Red Wings. That's what you end up with. I don't think you can do that. I'm with Rico is that you make a trade. And by the way, Orlando, no one wants to play there. Orlando is not a major market. Orlando, it's an awful place.
It's a great suburb, though.
Horrific suburb of Apopka. But guess what Orlando did? They worked in silence.
Uh-huh.
They acquired a player who you didn't really know was available, and they made a bold swing. And I think they are absolutely better than you.
And it's funny that you say that because you always hear, well, people only want to play in Miami or they want to play in L.A., they want to play in all these. If you are winning, they will go and play there. Plain and simple. You don't have to be this great market because here's the thing. You can go move. Keep your house and whatever, but you come to Detroit to win. And if Cade is what everybody thinks he is, he should be on the phone trying to facilitate something. He should be in Trajan's ear saying, here's a list of players that I kind of talked to that maybe you want to give their agent a call and maybe we can work this thing out and get here. You have to find somebody who can go out there and on any given night
Drop
put
25.
up 25 points, outscore Cade. Cade's having a bad day. Don't worry about it. I got you back. I scored all the points. We won that game.
And the secondary discussion is, why are we always supposed to demand less? Like in this, hey, look, you know our blueprint for the Wings, the blueprint for the Pistons, the blueprint for the Lions, which they did not want to follow. And the Tigers, look, they're going to chart their own course. They're awesome. But I think you can get way more awesome. Why do I sound like Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? I just use the phrase way more awesome. What am I, 14-year-old from Santa Monica? Look, it's right there for the Pistons. And Rico and I very rarely agree on something like fully. I've watched the finals and I'm going, this can be us. Mm-hmm. Very, not easily, but it's not a cosmic fever dream.
No, it's not. I hearken back to your whole Zion. I'm like, okay, you know what? If you put Zion on this team, and I'm not saying it has to be Zion, it has to be another piece, but you needed something. And if the Pistons had that piece, I think they get over the hump with the Knicks, and who's to say that they are not the team traveling to OKC this Sunday for Game 7?
248-539-9797. We'll get with the people next. We'll get the ticket text, 97.1.